This morning that 3BL Media unveiled the 21st annual 100 Best Corporate Citizens list, highlighting the most ESG-friendly companies in business. Of course, environmental, sustainability, and governance. Owens Corning topping that list, this time for the second year in a row, followed by Citigroup, General Mills, Cisco, and Hewlett-Packard, HP, I should say. Joining us right now to talk about the business of prioritizing ESG values is Dave Armon. He's the CEO of 3BL Media. Good morning to you this morning. Let's talk about this list. You know, there's a lot of folks who do these types of, who do various rankings, prioritizing companies based on these things. The question I'd ask you, especially in this environment that we're living in today, is basically how much better is the performance of these companies as a result of the ESG initiatives that they have undertaken?
Good morning. Thanks for having me on. These companies are highly engaged with ESG and have been for years. There's actually 22 companies on our list this year. This is the 21st year that we've done the list, and 22 companies have been on it since 2009. And you don't get that kind of traction and consistency without support from the C-suite and from the board. And increasingly, the 100 Best Corporate Citizens ranking has been, referenced by companies in the quarterly earnings calls and in annual reports and performance updates on the company, because they know it, performing well in ESG, is something that investors care about as well as their employees. That's a huge constituency for them and customers as well. The way we put this list together is we look at the full Russell 1000 and then run that list through about 141 factors across environmental, social, and governance. And then it's relative. One company's rated against the other. So last year, Owens Corning won again, which is amazing for a construction products company out of Toledo, Ohio. The prior year, it was Microsoft, and Hasbro won the year before. So it's always an exciting day when we announce the ranking.
The reason I ask, though, David, is if I were to have bought your index, if you will, if I had done a weighted index based on the companies that you have selected over the past decade, call it, where would I be relative to the S&P 500 right now?
Well, it's not an ETF and it's not it's not a fund. We're really just doing this to try to drive corporate performance. The list is all about transparency and about performance. So if companies have a policy, human rights policies, that are in line with what we're looking for in the factors, they get a tick in the box. And so they strive to make sure that as we tweak the methodology year after year, that they get on the list. So all I can tell you is that I would invest in this ranking if it was an ETF. And as we know, Dave, ESG funds are doing pretty well.
Right. Are you anticipating that, given the challenges of our economy today, in large part because of the pandemic, that you're going to see companies pull back on some of the ESG commitments? Obviously, the company we talk all the time about is Delta, which had committed $1 billion over 10 years, $100 million annually, to buy effectively carbon offsets in an environment clearly where they have a challenged business and a challenged industry where you want to keep your employees employed. I imagine it's going to be hard to keep some of these commitments. No?
Yeah, this whole situation with the coronavirus is heartbreaking, and what's happening to these companies is really challenging, especially in a sector like airlines or hotels. But I can tell you that, there have been some cutbacks, certainly deprioritization of non-strategic spending in a lot of companies. You see that in marketing, you see that in dividend cuts, you see that in hiring, but you're not seeing ESG singled out as one that's getting cut more than others. I mean, we have a very stable business. 3BL stands for triple bottom line, 3BL Media, and we're in the business of helping corporations get more awareness around their news and content around corporate social responsibility and ESG. And we've had renewals continuing at a steady pace.